normally sleep about 7 to 8 hours, 8 if I'm really, really lucky. But last night I slept 9.5 hours.
Wow.
I know.
Man,
Yeah.
you're a big sleeper.
I was a big sleeper. I was a big sleeper. I was just a big sleeper.
You're such a big sleeper.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, good for you.
I try, you know.
We need those.
Once in a
From time
while,
to
you
time.
do need that.
Yeah. Do you carry change in your pockets anymore?
You know, it's strange you should ask. I don't carry change or cash normally, but since vacation, that infamous vacation thing that we talked
Yes.
about, I've got a lot of feedback, by the way. Shout out to both Matt Smolik and Stephen Justice, who gave us some feedback on the podcast. And we're talking
Awesome.
about how they loved that I was talking about being on vacation, but being back from vacation all at the same time. I think that was their favorite part. I truly do. But anyway,
it's
you guys can
wonderful
also
to
chime
confuse
in
people.
and you guys can also chime in and say that or say something about that. But no, I usually don't carry either. I usually, strangely enough, carry 1/4, actually 3/4, but I always have 1/4 in the car. So when I go to Aldi's, I can get a cart. But other than that, no, I don't usually carry change, with the exception of this last week, because I have cash that I had left in my wallet, and I used some of it to spend on coffee or something like that. And I had a little bit of change that I had in my pocket until I got home, and then I put it in the big, huge crayon we have here that's full of change. So I was going to say, how about you? But I had to take a drink of my coffee first. My first cup of the day.
You have coffee?
I have coffee.
I am
Pour over.
shocked.
It's Pride coffee.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, I'll show you later.
Okay. The change thing, I don't carry change ever in my pockets anymore. I carry some cash just because on a couple of occasions I've needed some and didn't have any. The problem is, and I'm sure all the robbers now are going to listen to our podcast. I have a folded up $100 bill that I carry in my wallet, and but I mean, I seldom use it. It's comforting to know it's there if I need it. Now I'm at an airport, and you can appreciate this, at like 4:30 or 5 in the morning for an early flight, because I always fly early. And I went to a restaurant that was oddly enough open, but they were cash only at that time of the day. So I whipped out my $100 bill so I could get breakfast. I was starving. And
well, that's really smart. And
I don't know if it's smart or not, but they took the $100 bill, which I was kind of surprised about.
Yeah, usually they only do small bills,
right?
But I guess if that's all you've got, and I think most people understand that nowadays.
Probably.
But and along those tokens, so I don't carry it on me. But we talked about things that we pack in the car when we go places, when we travel. I do have about $100 in cash that I have hidden in the car just in case.
Okay. Well, you travel more by car, so that makes sense for you,
right? And well, and if I travel probably as much as you did by airplane, I probably would carry it in my wallet or somewhere hidden.
If I were looking in your car, where would I not start looking for that $100 that you have stashed?
If you were looking in my car, you wouldn't want to be looking in my car.
Come on. Where would I be hiding if I were $100 in cash? Would I be in the center console?
You'd be right next to the loaded 9mm.
Is it the same place you didn't like stash drugs you're not a drug mule, are you?
I'm not going to, I choose not to answer that. My lawyer has said, totally kidding, listeners. Totally kidding about all of it.
Of course we are.
Except for the money. The money is in the car. Now, the money is in a go bag. I'm not going to tell you where I put the go bag, but it is in a go bag.
Well, now you told me that. Now it's a lot easier to find than just cash.
There are about 30 bags in my car.
Oh,
at any given time.
Easier to find.
No, and you would not guess the go bag.
You know what I think what you should do to be safe is to have the $100 in pennies, and then
that's really smart. Except when you have to spend it,
nobody's going to want to take. Well, keep it in the rolls,
Oh, there you go. That's smart.
Yeah, I'm a thinker. I am a thinker.
Well, see, I used to have a roll of quarters that I stuck in my pocket every day.
I'm going to so leave that alone, but I'm sure that's what made you very popular.
Or the opposite.
Yes,
or the
or
opposite.
unpopular. Yes. So I was just thinking, I don't know what made me start with the whole change thing, but I have a buddy who to this day still carries a change purse. You know what I'm talking about? Those little ones?
Yeah. Well, maybe.
Well,
are we talking fanny pack?
No,
change purse,
no.
or
It's
just one
like
of those collapsible?
It's one of those collapsible ones you put in your front pocket and squeeze
okay, the
it
rubber
and it
where
opens up.
you. Yeah. Okay.
My dad had one.
Yeah. Well, my dad didn't. My grandfather did. But yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm older.
It's not the age that matters, John.
Yeah.
It's how you use it.
It's how you use the age. I try to use it for my benefit.
I'm going to reuse that. I'm making that a new saying. It's not the age that matters. It's how you use it.
That sounds
it's
like
much
something
cleaner than the opposite than the other version.
Sounds like something.
It's not PC to use the other version anymore.
What's the other version?
Oh, come on. I'm not going to say that on the podcast. All right. I'm going to beep this out, everybody. But this is just so John can hear it.
Okay. Everybody else.
It's not the size that matters.
Cover your ears.
Yeah. It's not the size that matters.
It's
how you use it.
Yeah. Or the motion of the ocean or something like that.
The motion of the ocean. Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad you brought that back up. That's brought back some wonderful memories.
I bet it did. All I'm going to say is if anyone wants some really bad ones, they have to go watch. It's a Bruce Willis movie. And if I wouldn't have thought of it, it would have been Boy Scout.
Oh.
Is it just Boy Scout or is it something Boy Scout?
The Last Boy Scout.
Hold on. I've got to look that up. Last Boy Scout. That's it. Yep.
Yeah.
They've got some good one-liners in there that are completely inappropriate for our time and day and age.
Doesn't he have a daughter named Scout?
I know her name wasn't Scout.
Billy Joel?
Now you're going to make me look it
Who
up.
has the daughter named Scout? It's either Bruce Willis or Billy Joel.
Oh, in real life? Yeah, yeah, in real life, it's Bruce Willis. His daughter's name is Scout or something like that. Yeah, good job. Look at you.
I have to challenge you from time to time.
Look at you. I'm going to have to, maybe it's not Scout. Scout seems too simple.
It's Scout. I mean, maybe Scout is short for something like Water Scout. I don't know.
Water Scout. Water Scout?
I have no idea.
Well, I think this is, and I'm looking it up to see what her name actually is to make sure we're not way off base. But this is the daughter that he had with
Demi Moore or Demi or however she's saying it now. Rumor.
How is she saying it now?
Scout.
Rumor. Rumor Tallulah Scout.
Yeah. Rumor is one daughter. Tallulah Willis is another daughter. Scout Willis is another daughter.
That was good. See, I was going to say that I thought it was Rumor, but I guess he has three.
He's had multiple daughters, apparently.
He has. So his current wife, he has two children with. So Rumor is the one that he had with Demi Moore. And the other two must have been who he had with his current wife.
I think they're younger. So that's Evelyn and Mabel.
Oh, so wow. Okay.
Yeah. So he has 5 girls.
He's fertile.
Well, he's fertile with X chromosomes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's however you split the chromosome.
Well, but it is the guy who determines the sex of the baby.
Are you getting all doctory on me?
I'm a little doctory. I've got one of those flashy. Doctors used to wear those like reflective things on their heads? Remember that?
I don't. I know what you're talking about, but no, I don't remember a doctor ever doing that for me. Now we're doing the age thing again.
I've never.
You're punishing me for being young and beautiful.
You are very handsome. I will grant you that. But
thank you, John.
Yeah, I know. I love how you said
for your ageism.
I'm going to look this up so we don't give false information, because far be it for the potty mouths to give false information.
Oh no, we're all about fact on this Potty Mouth
we
podcast.
Sort of are, but I don't mind if we blow things up sometimes. I think it's kind of funny.
Yeah, well, that's why we do it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm only halfway through my cup of coffee, people. If you expect witty comebacks, wait for at least 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes into the podcast, I'll have some witty comebacks.
Could we just have maybe silence for 10 minutes until you're ready to be witty? Because I'm used to you being witty all the time.
Well, I'm just letting you shine for this podcast.
Wow. Yeah,
Coffee's starting
there's
to kick
always
in,
a danger of that.
Coffee is starting to kick in.
John really shined on that. We get a lot of comments like that.
Well, really, I get a lot of comments. Yeah, Nick, you're okay, but John, man, he's really good.
He really shone. It would be shown, wouldn't it?
Are you sure? Or is that a poddyism?
No.
Ooh, new word alert. Poddyism.
Would it be poddyism or would it be poddism? Because you almost need two I's in a row. And there are very few words in the English language that have I's.
Well, and since you say it that way, no, it's poddyism because I want the two I's. Damn it, John, I want the two I's.
Well, you'll be able to see better anyway then.
Very true. Very true.
Golly.
So I know we were talking about change, but you saying two I's actually, it brings up a question for me because it's something I'm considering.
Okay.
You wear glasses, correct?
You know what? Yes, I will go into longer detail, but yes, I do.
Well, you may be going into that longer detail. Are you nearsighted or farsighted?
I am nearsighted.
Have you always been nearsighted, or is it because you had corrective surgery?
I have. I did not have corrective surgery. I'm not a candidate for it, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. It's probably because
I like to.
Well,
yeah,
and
because
that's
I've got
why,
something that prevents it.
Okay. I want LASIK because my glasses are very old and I'm sick of them and I'm sick of wearing glasses. Even though my family and friends say you look so weird without glasses. I'm like, I used to not wear glasses in college all the time. I wore contacts.
Who says
and I didn't
that?
look weird then.
Who
My
says
wife,
you
my
look
daughter.
weird without? Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
I think it's like when you shave off a beard or something, you look different. I don't think
they'll get used to it.
Correct.
But I really want, and I've been saving up for LASIK, and I didn't know if you had it because I wanted to hear your experience because I've heard people say they've had bad experiences, but I don't know them personally. All of the people that I know personally have absolutely loved their experience getting LASIK. Not love the process, but what happened after,
Yes. And I've heard the same, although I hear as we get over 40 years old, heaven forbid, that there is an increased incidence of needing reading glasses.
Which I don't mind. See,
Okay.
I'm nearsighted, so I can't see far away. And that makes me have to wear my glasses pretty much all the time.
Right.
And I don't have a very thick prescription or a very strong prescription, but my eyes will get worse over time because I'm constantly using my glasses.
Sure.
Does that make sense? So
I would do a consult though, just to talk about it because I would definitely do it if I were able to. And according to 2 or 3 optometrists, I am not a candidate. So that's okay.
Yeah. Well, my last optometrist said I could, and I do have a slight astigmatism, which they don't like to do, but it's not It's not bad enough that they would absolutely say no.
How long have you worn glasses?
Since I was in 7th grade.
Oh, okay. So quite a while.
Quite a while, but my eyes have not changed very much since then. Like I could go back and wear my glasses. I can't see great out of them, but I could go back and wear my glasses from 7th grade and still see.
From 7th grade? I would love to see that.
Yeah, no.
Those are post like a picture of? Did you still have them?
I'm sure I've got them somewhere.
You need to find your 7th grade glasses.
I should. But
I can speak.
My mom, though, we didn't have the same prescription, which is unfortunate. My mom liked funky glasses, and she has Mr. Magoo glasses, and I still have them. And then she also has glasses where the lens is only about the size of a nickel.
Wow,
yeah.
Tiny.
Yeah, tiny. And they're round. So those are like uber Mr. Magoo, except they're tiny.
Did you ever, so you didn't ever wear your mom's cat eye glasses or anything, did you?
Not cat, no.
Because those were patently for women.
Yes. No,
I didn't. See many dudes
did.
Wearing cat eye glasses.
No, and so the other reason I want, and this is extremely vain, besides the fact that I just don't want to wear glasses anymore. I also love sunglasses. And I am too cheap to buy prescription sunglasses because I know I'll either sit on them, break them, or lose them.
Agreed.
So I like being able to go out and buy cheap sunglasses but I can't wear them because then I can't see.
Yeah, I understand. So clip-ons.
I used to use clip-ons. Right now I have transitions.
Okay.
Which aren't bad. I for some reason, and I can't remember, it's been so long, I can't remember why, but I have transitions that have a brown tint when they're not transitioning, and that drives me nuts. But I know they have some that don't have any tint, but I think I got these special because I spend so much time in front of the computer too. I don't remember.
Well, and they're not cheap. You're right. Transitions are,
No.
I mean, they're cool, but they're not cheap.
Right.
Like prescription sunglasses. Yeah. And prescription sunglasses, they're kind of, there's only one use for them, and that is to be outside in the sun.
Right.
And, you're constantly changing. Yeah. No, I understand. I think that I keep a pair of sunglasses because I wear contacts and have since I was 13 years old, which has been, I don't know, a couple of years ago.
And I suppose I could go back to contacts. They wouldn't necessarily bother me. The reason I had stopped wearing contacts is I was working so long of hours, and I couldn't, even the ones that you could sleep in, I couldn't wear them for more than 8 hours before they started bothering me, especially when it became allergy season.
Right.
And then my eyes, we talked about that. I don't have major allergies, but one thing I do have when I'm wearing contacts is really itchy eyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that just started to drive me nuts too. So I just don't want to deal with it at all.
I started wearing contacts when I was, as I said, 13 years old. And back then, all they had were the hard contacts, and they were much smaller than today's contacts. And so it was not unusual in those, and they just scratched the heck out of your eyes. So the first hour I had them in, I was walking down the street. They made you go outside and try them, and I had tears running down my face. Talk about
Johnny.
Well, no, because your eyes would just water from these hard lenses, but then you get used to them. And the problem was, if you'd ever wear them in a sporting event or whatever, I wore mine, I think, one time playing basketball. Anyone hits the side of your face accidentally, you will pop out a contact. And so there were those times we probably all remember, if you're over 25 years old, that, somebody does that and it's a scramble on the floor. People trying to find the contact. So my father-in-law, much better today.
My father-in-law still has to wear those. He can't wear the rubber ones because of an eye condition that he has.
But are they really small like that?
Oh yeah, they're very small.
Oh,
and he actually has 2 or 3 pairs that he carries with him all the time because they keep popping out.
Oh gosh.
But he can't wear glasses because of this is the only way he can see is with these contacts.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he has a degenerative disease that's literally making him go blind.
Wow.
And that's this is how he sees. And even with him in, he doesn't see perfectly.
Yeah.
Anyway, he fishes a lot, he hunts a lot, so he's constantly outside doing stuff, and he's also a handyman, so he's constantly in a position that he can easily get him knocked out, and that's why he carries 2 or 3 pairs, because he will most likely. It's not a question if, it's a question when. When will I knock the next one out?
Yeah. Wow. Well, I mean, that's smart to carry extras for sure, but wow. How often does he go through them?
Oh, a lot. Yeah, quite often.
Well, and they're not nearly as expensive as they used to be, happily.
No, they're not. I mean, these are still expensive, but he's lucky he's got good insurance.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I sleep with mine in, and I get crap from my optometrist all the time, but not a lot because they don't really damage my eyes. And I go much longer than I'm supposed to. And so let me just warn you, if you are listening, this is the legal part. Do not do as I do. Do as I say. Don't sleep with your contacts in. But they're okay. But I love the idea, getting back to your sunglasses thing, of being able to buy sunglasses that don't break the bank because they're not prescription.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
there's a great company, and they don't sponsor us. I wish they would.
Who is it?
There's a great company that I see pop up in all of our Instagram feeds constantly, and it's called Shady Rays.
Yes.
I love those things.
I think I have a couple of pair from them.
Oh, really? I mean, they're not cheap, but they're not expensive. and they're
Correct.
made from, you can buy the wooden ones, and I just think they look cool. You can change the lens reflection and stuff. So
Yes, the wooden ones.
yes, I want wooden ones. I'm not going to lie. I want the wooden ones.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't know why, but that draws me back to like George Washington's teeth.
Oh, John, George Washington's teeth were not wooden.
Come on.
They weren't wooden.
Come on. That was the thing. They always said that George Washington had dentures that were made of wood.
I know they say that, but it's not true. He had some ivory ones, I believe.
How did that start?
Oh, some historian that wanted to make a name for themselves said it, I'm sure.
And we don't remember that historian's name, do we?
No, well, that's the unimportant side. The unimportant
mission
part.
Not accomplished. Did he chop down a cherry tree?
No, he did not chop down a cherry tree.
Gosh, how do you know so much about George Washington?
I have this fantastic audiobook that I've listened to for a minute because it keeps putting me to sleep. It's not a very good one. And it's like 15 hours. So this must have been a really thick book. But it's the entire history of George Washington since he was a boy all the way up until his presidency.
So how you've never gotten past like his 7th birthday, right?
No, I got up to when he was a teenager or early 20s, I believe.
Oh, all right. Well, you're doing okay then.
Yeah, but I haven't listened to it in a few months. I'm looking. If you're hearing me pause, it's because I'm looking up the actual name of the book. I will give this name.
Good for you. Yeah, you were kind of slow with Bruce Willis's daughter.
Oh, I hadn't even finished my coffee yet, John. Give me a break. Good God. Now I can't even find the app.
You are more fun in the morning than you are when we record later in the day.
Well, it's because I am tired later in the day, and I just don't want to put up with your crap.
I don't give you crap.
No, you don't. Well, you do, but it's all in a positive way.
It's positive crap.
Positive. It's potty crap.
Oh, man.
We can change everything to potty.
Yeah, I don't know if that's something I want to do.
Probably
I think
not.
if we just wear the T-shirts, we'll be fine.
Yeah. Oh, so I was a little bit wrong. It's called Washington, A Life. So it's Washington, a Life. It's by Ron.
It talks about his colon?
Huh? No, it doesn't. Well, I haven't gotten that far in. Okay. But it's by Ron Chernow.
I'm only to his esophagus.
Narrated by Scott Brick. And it is 41 hours and 52 minutes long.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, but you listen to audiobooks when you're driving though, right?
I haven't lately, so I shouldn't really say that. Yes, I do. I've been listening to more podcasts lately, but yes, I do once in a while. Actually, on the way back from vacation, we listened to one that was recommended to me by, I believe, one of the people. And forgive me if I'm wrong, anyone who's listening, and you were the one who recommended this, and it wasn't Mr. Smolik, but usually Mr. Smolik is the one who recommends books to me. But it was Off to Be the Wizard by Scott Mayer. It's a kind of a sci-fi fiction book, which I'm not big into fiction, to be honest, but it was a very good book.
I'm having a hard time saying that title without singing the song.
It's Off to Be the Wizard, not Off to See the Wizard.
You did a very good job emphasizing the word "be," so you are blameless.
I put the right emphasis on the right syllable.
Yes, well done.
Thank you.
Well, that sounds good.
Thank you very much.
I think so. I used to, when I was driving more, used to listen to audiobooks, and I really do enjoy them. I remember one in particular that was a John Grisham novel, and I can't remember which one it was, but it doesn't matter. One of his, and they're all kind of similar courtroom sort of lawyer based ones.
Right. My wife loves John Grisham.
I have a signed copy of one of his books from him.
Very cool.
Very, very cool. He went to school with a colleague of mine from the past, and very, very, very cool. There was someone reading this book, though. The reason I remember it was the Pelican Brief. That's what it was. Someone who was doing the narration that was incredible and sort of lifted his voice for the female parts, and he was just really good. I remember being at a Holiday Inn hotel, and I wanted to hear that. I was close to the end, and I'm sitting on the parking lot listening on my car radio to the end of the book. I felt like an idiot, but it was a really good book that, I wanted to get to the end of. So yeah.
Very cool.
Creepy guy sitting in his car. I think I had a bag phone back then before the cell phone.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Fit in your pocket. And so it wasn't quite as normal to see someone sitting in a car as it is these days.
So here's a question for you.
All right.
You are from Wisconsin, right?
I am from Wisconsin, yes.
So tell me, since you were talking about, colleague knowing this person and stuff like that, and and we've talked about this before. We all kind of know someone who's famous, right? I want to know if you know who is famous, very famous, and in our world, or at least in my world, probably one of the most famous people that came from Wisconsin. If you can you name?
Well, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There's several, but I'm looking for one in particular.
Well, I would guess it would have to be, you said in your world, so I'm thinking outside looking in. There may be more famous ones here, but it would be Frank Lloyd Wright.
I love Frank Lloyd Wright. That was not the one I was looking for, but yes, he's very famous. I'm talking about music. Let's talk about music.
All right.
And I'll give you a hint. He born and raised in Waukesha.
Okay. I'm impressed, first of all, that you know how to say Waukesha.
I'm from that area, remember?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I forgot. But we already talked about Oconomowoc.
Oconomowoc, yep.
Yeah, knowing how to say
So you never asked me if I could say that before you actually came out and said it.
I spelled it first, I think.
Yeah, well, anytime you spell something, if I can't look at it, I'm not going to get it.
Yeah, okay, good. All right, so Waukesha, a famous musician from Waukesha. Give me more hints.
Let's see.
Is it a male?
He's not just a musician.
So
he was a very famous musician, but he was also a very famous inventor.
Oh, well, that was it was Les Paul.
Thank you. Yes, yeah. And I was going to say, well, he has a guitar named after him, but that would have given it away.
That would have been a pretty good, good hint. Yeah, Les Paul, very famous.
Very famous. Still played up until his dying day when he died.
Which was not that long ago.
It was not long ago. No, it was probably, longer than you probably think. I think it was more like 9 or 10 years ago.
It
but
was
played up until he was, it was.
Okay. All right. Here we're going
7 years ago, I think. Well, let's look it up. Hey, Google. Actually, you're Siri, aren't you?
2009, you're absolutely right. Forgive me. I thought it was more recent than that.
Yeah,
August 12th.
I used to teach, and I used to teach a mass communications course, and he was a week's worth of coursework.
Oh, cool!
And I remember it because I was teaching when he died. It was the year he died.
Huh? Just that's that's a talent my wife has as well. That she connects events with what she was doing at the time. So she's much better than I at remembering dates and things.
Well, that's the trick to remembering a lot of those.
Yep.
My wife is always impressed that I can pull certain things out of memory, but then I can't remember what I put on the shopping list. and that's why, because I connect things with time and place. It's kind of like, where were you when 9/11 happened? I know that's a broad example, but I can guess that most people will know exactly where they were and what they were doing when 9/11 happened, because they connected time and place.
It's a really good point.
Yep. So anyway, I just took you so far off topic, and we've gone through like 50 different topics. Let's go back to change in your pocket.
I'm actually looking forward to determining what you're going to name this podcast.
Change in your pocket.
Change in your pocket. And then we've ended up talking about Les Paul.
Yep. Change in your pocket. Les Paul.
Sure.
And we haven't, I mean, we're only 30 minutes into the podcast, so we still have time to come up with a third part of my title.
Remember Les Nessman from WKRP in Cincinnati?
Yes, I do. I don't remember specifics, but I remember the name and the TV show.
Yeah, now here's more news with Les Nessman.
Yeah. Here's more news with Nick and John.
It's a TV show about a radio show. That's
actually,
awesome.
so interestingly enough, that show, you ready for another useless piece of knowledge?
See, this is what I love about this one. I'll just throw something at you and you go, oh, I have something about that.
And I don't remember which podcast I got this from, but it was from a podcast. There was a concert that was happening, and it was trying to think back. I think it was a Who concert in Cincinnati, and the time and the date was reported to the audience or the fangoers of this concert wrong. So people were showing up hours, like, a good 6 or 7 hours before the show was opening, and the temperatures outside were sub-zero.
Oh.
And they were expected to wait outside. Well, a lot of other things happened during that. The band was late for sound check, and they didn't want to open the doors before sound check. And then when the sound check was happening, people outside were getting upset. They were getting cold. They were starting to try to get in and push the doors open. Yeah. And someone from the outside, the police department, I think, called into the show, the director of the show or whatever he was called, and said, hey, we need to start opening some doors and letting some of these people in before there's, bad things happening. Mm-hmm. And the guy in charge of the show said, no, we're not done with sound check. We're not opening the doors. So things get worse, and they finally opened some doors on the side of the venue. And I'm paraphrasing, guys. So, there are a lot more details that I'm leaving out, and I'll find the podcast and tell you what that is, so you guys can listen to it if you're interested. Anyway, so people thought all the doors were being opened, so they started pushing, and then they finally opened all the doors, and there was a mass stampede, and everyone got in thinking that they were late for the concert because they could hear the sound check, but it was just the sound check. And ultimately, I think 30 or 40 people died because they were trampled to death. And of course, the band heard about this, and it was, it was a big news story. Going to WKRP in Cincinnati, when they heard about it, and of course the show was not filmed in Cincinnati, it was filmed in LA. When they heard about it, and they heard, because they're obviously supposed to be based in Cincinnati, they were one of the very first television shows ever to base one of their episodes around reality. And they actually talked about that on the show as it was happening. Wow. Just like it happened in the media a few years earlier in Cincinnati. Or not a few years, I think a year earlier in Cincinnati by the time it got to the show and got written in.
Was this like in the 70s that it happened? It must have been.
Yeah, it was in the 70s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it was in the 70s. And that made history because, like I said, it was one of the very first shows ever to weave reality or an actual event into one of their episodes or into the storyline.
Setting the stage.
Now we see it all the time in a lot of our shows. We actually have shows based around reality that aren't reality.
For reality television. Dun, dun.
Yes and no. I'm thinking more along the lines of something like Law and Order. You just did the dun dun. Yeah,
you're welcome.
Yeah, nicely done. Nicely done.
This is why
that's my little bit of useless information for everybody.
That was good.
But go on with your WKRP in Cincinnati or the change in your pocket.
It was just Les Nessman, and I remember there was one episode where they used duct tape to define where Les's office was because they wouldn't put up any walls.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive.
That seems like something that our company would do. Oh, did I? I'm kidding. We don't have offices.
Out of our homes. Cut it out. Exactly. Build a wall if you want to.
Well, so I have heard people, it's kind of a tax joke. People will do that. They'll tape off an area in their house that they use as their office so they can write it off as a tax break, or used to do that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think that to define the actual space and the percentage usage, I think that might be a little bit of a challenge, but I don't
Just a
worry
little
about
bit.
taxes too much anymore because we've hired a wonderful accountant who handles that for, and we don't, and I want to be clear about that because I don't know if we've talked about this before, Nick, but this is one of those things where it's just worth it to me to pay someone to do my taxes, someone with a great reputation. And they actually have an ex-IRS agent on their staff. And
Nice.
so,
That's
it makes
helpful.
me feel better. Whether it makes any difference or not, I don't know. But I just like not having to worry about it at all anymore. So that's the whole
Makes
tax
sense.
thing.
And I had a bad experience paying for it. Now that whole statement could be taken way out of context,
Which
anyway,
I intend to do.
I know you. I was waiting. I wanted to preempt that. I just wanted to get ahead of it. Anyway, I had a bad experience paying for an accountant, and this is an accountant my family used for years. Friend of the family. My mom and stepdad actually got married on their property or near their property in Wisconsin many years ago. So they're very, very close. When my parents died, he was actually the executive of our estate. So I have no ill will towards him or his company, but there were mistakes made, and it cost me a lot of money with the IRS. And they weren't necessarily his. It was one of those domino effect things. But still, it was disappointing that they didn't catch it. So ever since then, I have been doing my own taxes.
I was just going to ask that. So that's the outcome, is you do
That
your
is
own
the
taxes
outcome.
now.
However, that being
do you
said,
use like QuickBooks or something?
Yep, Intuit, QuickBooks, and
Awesome.
TurboTax.
Okay.
So that being said, I wouldn't recommend that if you have a lot of intricacy in your accounting. I do not. I do have investments, but none of those investments actually produce income. So I don't have to. They're long-term income, John. It will come in the future, but I don't have any dividends coming in. Let's put it that way.
So here's what I want I want to change that line to, I do have investments, but they're all bad ones. So it does not produce any
that's
income.
A whole other episode right there. Whole other episode.
Yeah, mine too. Don't worry.
But in all seriousness, I don't have a lot of intricacy in my accounting, so it's very easy. And
but
everything is so automated now.
Too.
I am. So it makes my taxes very easy.
Awesome.
And if they started getting more difficult, then I would probably go back to hiring someone. Like when we owned a business, when my wife and she had her business, I had my business.
Yep.
I hired someone because I couldn't do the business taxes. There was just too much there. So I will say we did have something, but I still did my personal taxes.
Yeah, I think it's whatever you get used to. I'm just very I'm for what we pay, which is not a lot. I'm delighted with the service we get, and they're just good
That's
people
great.
too. So that helps as well.
Well, we've talked about that often, just back and not necessarily on the podcast, but if you have great service, even if it is a little bit more expensive than what you think you want to pay, if you have great service, it is worth it, and it also helps your community. Small businesses are what run our country. I know it's hard to believe because we have such massive businesses that are really focusing the way we are changing our lives. And
boy, big time.
I won't mention anything like Google or
Amazon.
Apple or anything that we actually use every day. But even those, Amazon is a good example. It is a monolithic company or megalithic or however you want to say it, whatever the right word is. It's a massive company.
Yep.
But it is supported in many ways by the small businesses that are using it as a platform to sell.
They've learned to be that like a viable connection to a liaison, if you will, from small businesses to the marketplace, the larger marketplace, and it's
absolutely
it's pretty amazing.
Same with Google. Google would not exist. Their number one income still today comes from advertising, and it's all the small businesses and large businesses too, but small businesses mainly that are paying to advertise on their platform.
Well, that's true. Although
So-
the only reason that people use them for advertising is because of data.
Oh, absolutely.
That
No,
they
there's
are-
no getting around it. There's
No.
still these massive companies that
All
control
about
everything,
data.
but yeah.
And Amazon is too, frankly. Amazon is all about
Oh,
data
yeah.
as well. And when you think about how they
Everybody
market
is.
to people, and well, yeah, and it's what you do with it, and then you have to walk that fine line between using too much of what you know and using too little of what you know. And it's
Exactly. And this is the same conversation, speaking of small businesses, that you and I have when we consult with the businesses, the dealerships that we consult with.
that's correct.
It's exactly the same thing.
That's why we're so adept at it.
That I'd like to think so. Mhm.
In our minds, we are.
In our minds, in
Yes.
our mind's eye.
Okay, so the change in the pocket.
Change in the pocket. Wow. That took a turn.
I know. The coin purse, though, I always found, and today, I don't, pennies, really? Pennies? You can't even use them in a vending machine. Dimes and nickels, okay, potentially. But I don't know. I mean, most vending machines now take credit cards.
Yeah.
So-
I was just going to say that. And again, the only reason I have quarters with me at any time is so I can get the cart at Aldi's.
I meant to ask you about that. What is that? I don't shop at Aldi's.
Have you never been to Aldi's?
I probably have, but I don't shop there currently.
Regularly?
Yeah.
So Aldi's is a very unique company, and you probably maybe recognize Trader Joe's a little bit more than Aldi's, maybe.
Sure.
So, and again, I'm paraphrasing, but there is a great documentary you can find on YouTube about Aldi's. And Aldi's was a small German, I believe it was German, either German or Nordic, I don't remember, business that actually started before or just right after World War II. And it was called Aldi's. And when the elder Aldi died, the Aldi brothers took it over. They started infighting, and then they split. So one of them took Aldi's and called it Aldi's South, and one of them called it theirs Aldi's North. When they came over to the States, and I don't know which one's which, I forget. I should watch the documentary again so I have all the details. But one of them just called themselves Aldi, and the other one called themselves Trader Joe.
Huh.
So these two companies come over, and the business practices, and I'm not as familiar with Trader Joe's business practices. I think it's a little bit different, but Aldi specifically, they keep costs way down on all of their products in the store because they buy in bulk. They don't buy the same thing every time. They look at prices and they negotiate and things like that. So you won't always find exactly the same thing in an Aldi that you might have purchased the last time.
Well, several companies have
also
adopted that too, by the way.
Yeah, a lot of them are. They're falling in. When I first started going to Aldi, I'll be honest, I kind of turned my nose up at it, thinking it was kind of a nasty place. But it was the Aldi that I was going to that kind of it was in a bad neighborhood in St. Louis. Okay. So but then as I went on and I learned more about Aldi and their business practices and the fact that everything that they have in the store is organic. When it's not organic, what is it? It's sustainable or something like that. So they have really good ethical practices, at least on the outside. But you go into the store, they limit the number of people that are working during shifts. So they only have 2 or 3 people working at the store at any given time. And then they also, that goes into the carts as well. And most major grocery store chains have people that go out and collect all the carts from the parking lot and bring them back in. Well, at Aldi, they don't have anyone like that. So what they've done is they connect all the carts on the outside of the building, and depending on where you are, maybe on the inside, with a chain. And it's connected to a little device on the top of the cart where you stick a quarter in and it releases the chain. And then you can use the cart. Well, you can, if you want to, leave the cart in the parking lot, but then it costs you a quarter. And that quarter is supposed to make up for how much it costs to actually get someone to go out and get the cart and put it back. But if you want your quarter back, you put the cart back in the line and push the chain in, and it pops your quarter back out. So it's one of the ways they cut the cost of having those people that collect the carts.
So what I'd like to know from you
customer
is, do you return your cart?
Every single time.
Okay.
I thought we've gone over this, John. I am a cheapskate. That quarter is my quarter, damn it.
My guess would have been that you return your cart, but I thought I would check just to see.
I love Aldi though. I really do. They have a lot of stuff, a lot of choices.
3 people. Seriously, there are only like 3 employees in the
There are
store.
only 2 or 3 people. Yeah. Then they just keep someone. They keep someone at one of the checkout lanes. They have 4 or 5 checkout lanes, at least at ours. Mm-hmm. But I only have ever seen at most 2 of them running. And usually it's because it's so busy that there's a huge line. Yeah, so they have to bring someone out. Yeah. I think it's usually just a manager and a checkout person. I could be wrong. Watch the documentary if you really want the true facts of Aldi and Trader Joe's.
Well, honestly, I don't really give a crap. I just thought it would be nice to hear you tell me about it. So would you watch the documentary and then get back to us?
I've watched it before, and I don't plan on watching it again necessarily.
So it was a crappy documentary that you're trying to talk us into watching. No, actually,
it was a very good documentary. It was very interesting.
Good. Why wouldn't you watch it again?
Because I already know everything.
Except the whole part about how many employees exactly and what happens when they
now you're just getting nitpicky. Let's go back to change in your pocket.
Okay.
Or are you just happy to see me?
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, well, good. I wondered about the Aldi shopping cart because I'm familiar with Aldi's. I've driven by them. I just don't know as I've ever been in one.
You know, it's great for certain things. And that's kind of where I was going. Mm-hmm. We use Aldi's just to save money on certain things. But then we will still go to a regular K. Roger. I'm saying that just for you, John. K. Roger.
Well done.
Or Publix or something like that for other items that are a little bit, I don't want to say higher end, but a little bit more, I'm going to use it, higher end, that you're not going to get at Aldi. They don't have a lot of vegan choices, and my wife really likes the vegan cheese, the nut milks, and things like that. And they don't always have that at Aldi.
Wasn't that your nickname in high school, Nut Milk? Yeah.
Nut milk? Yeah, it's close. It was Cubes.
Cubes? I like it.
Yeah, that was my nickname.
All right.
Cubes.
I like it. We may have to revive that.
I'm not going to tell you why. It has to do with my last name. In reality, it's how it started, but a lot of people took it a lot of other places. So I'll let your imagination
I have a clear imagination and conscience, happily. Mostly.
You have a conscience, but do you have morals?
Morals and ethics, the difference on the next Potty Mouth.
That actually would be a good episode.
I don't know if it would.
I'd listen to. I don't listen to many of them, but I'd listen to that one.
Happily, you're not our target audience. We said we're targeting people who are smarter than us, so it's really easy to get
That's
folks
right. It really is. It's very easy. I'm surprised we don't have more listeners by now. That's what we're aiming for.
It's a broad market.
I think I've come up with a name for our podcast though for this episode. Is that change in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? I know I already said that a little while ago, listeners, but that's what I've decided the name's going to be.
Title now.
Yeah, it is. Right. It's going to be a little change from my normal naming convention, but I think it works.
I think people are going to be either delighted with the title or sorely disappointed when they hear what we're actually talking about.
Yeah, well, isn't that usually the case?
Probably so. Excellent point, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
If there's not a certain level of disappointment, then it's not a Potty Mouths broadcast.
That's exactly right.
I've come to expect disappointment with these guys. All right. We're okay with that as long as you tell your friends.
That's right. Tell your friends all about it. And they can tell their friends where, John?
They can tell their friends across the board. Facebook, Instagram, not YouTube. We should probably get some YouTube, Twitter. We should shoot
what are we going to put
YouTube videos.
What are we going to put on YouTube?
We should.
I guess I could put up YouTube with pictures.
YouTube videos with us actually. I'd have to clean my office, but with us doing our podcast.
Well, my office is very clean because it's starting to become summer, and even though I do have air conditioning and heat, the thermostat is on the second floor, and as everyone knows, I'm sitting on the third floor.
Everyone knows that.
Everyone knows that because I talk about it incessantly. I'm on the third floor, and the heat obviously rises, and I'm also up by the attic and where the rooftop is, so it gets really warm up here before the air conditioning will actually kick in and cool it off. So I don't spend a lot of time up here in the summer.
I think you're brilliant to have that Bikram yoga class there, though.
Absolutely. I mean, it pays for the mortgage.
Yes, it does.
On my office.
And people are usually tired by the time they climb up to the third floor.
Exactly. It's done and done.
Brilliant.
It's half the workout.
Getting here is half the workout. I'm sure that would be your tagline. That's right. Perfect.
That's right. Do you have any change in your pocket right now?
I do not. I never have change. If I have change, like from some odd reason, if I don't use a credit card at the drive-through window, Culver's, our favorite.
Your favorite.
Well, it is. It's an awesome restaurant, and they're just really good. Oh, and they're also from Wisconsin.
Yes.
If I get change back for some odd reason from cash, it always ends up in the vehicle, and I'll leave it there.
Yeah.
I think I told you.
Whenever I trade in a vehicle, it's fantastic because I always find the down payment under the seat.
So you assume that. How much are you putting down? Hey, well, let's go find out.
Yeah, exactly. Go on. I'm sorry. I meant to interrupt, and I did.
No, it was perfect. I was just going to say that because you and I travel so much, and a lot of mine is flying, and I may have mentioned this before, but if I'm on the road,
I didn't know you flew a lot.
I would throw the extra change in my backpack. And so one time I went through TSA screening, and they go, "We're going to need to take another look at your backpack." I probably had $25 worth of change in the bottom of my backpack. And I said, no wonder it's so heavy.
Yeah. You're weight training. You're just adding a little bit more. Once you get used to it, add a little bit more. I understand. It's good weight training right there. That's a great method.
All out because I don't want to weight train while I'm traveling, if I can help it. Gosh.
So when you change, do you change your loose change into cash at any point? Do you go to the grocery store or to the bank?
We've got a little basket in some of our shelves when you first walk in the mudroom, and it's it fills up, but it takes a long time these days. Usually if I'm in a restaurant and there's change, it's always part of the tip, or it's not worth it to carry around 28 cents in my humble opinion anymore. So,
well, and that aside, because I think you're absolutely right. There are very few instances that we're going to use change anymore because we're not going to sit there and count change. It's much easier just if it's 78 cents, you just want to hand them $1.
Do you roll your eyes at the airport when you're behind somebody at the little convenience store and they're getting a bottle of water and they're paying with cash exact change?
I probably would, but I honestly don't remember the last time that's happened. Where someone's paying with cash.
It still does.
Oh, I bet it does.
Just not very often.
No. That happened to me at the grocery store the other day, where someone was paying with cash and they were going by the cent, but they were much older, and I can understand. But if it didn't frustrate me, it was just like, this is interesting.
Yeah,
this is not as quick as I'd like it to be. Actually, I think they were using a change purse, to be honest.
Love those things. Okay, and it's the only thing
they're fun to play with.
Yeah, they're the only thing really that dudes can carry with the name purse in there that's okay.
No, because we change everything to Merce.
No, but you do. I don't. You're much more fashion forward than I am.
I'd like to think so. It's not hard though with you, John.
Yeah, I know. I am the benchmark.
I'm sure my wife would disagree with that entire statement.
For both of us, probably.
You think you're wearing that shirt with those pants? I don't think so.
And that's her talking to me. So, I know how she is with you.
Yeah. Well, and so here's my other problem. It's not just that part of it. It's the having change literally in my pocket. I don't like carrying things in my pocket. I normally carry my keys and my wallet and my cell phone. And if I have to carry anything beyond that, I am uncomfortable. I think it jingles too much. I feel things rubbing together just in the pocket, not necessarily even rubbing against me, drives me nuts. And I might be just that anal that I just can't have things in my pockets. And I used to wear cargo pants.
There's a whole direction I could go with that whole statement you just, and everybody just play that back again. And I just want you to know how restrained I'm being in not going a bad direction with
we
everything
are trying
he
to
just
be restrained.
said.
What is our problem? We're usually not this restrained. We just go for it. We go for the jugular, the poddygler.
I'm thinking
no, that's not going to work.
I'm thinking my pastor might be listening, so I want to make sure I'm respectful.
Oh, see, that's why you got to be Catholic. And then you've got the priest that's listening and they could care less. They're usually drunk. I'm kidding again. I apologize to the priests and the nuns out there.
Wow.
That are listening to our
I'm sure
podcast.
we have a lot of nuns who listen to our podcast.
Of nuns and priests listening to the Potty Mouths podcast.
I'm sure there are many. It's a guilty pleasure. Well, actually, no, it could be
so many
a part
places
of
that too.
It could be the number one line in the confessional booth.
It could be.
I listened to a Potty Mouth broadcast. Oh, that's not good.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I've been listening to the Potty Mouths podcast, all 20 episodes.
That's going to mean some Hail Marys.
And we're not talking about the football game.
Wow. Hey, but if we were, Aaron Rodgers, baby, throws those Hail Marys.
That's right.
Okay, never mind.
No.
So a buddy of mine,
wrong audience, wrong audience, John.
No, this is the right audience. A buddy of mine was just at the Indianapolis 500. I think they have like a media day or whatever, or maybe a media week. He had just pictures with everybody from Mario Andretti to, some of these other racers that I don't even know who they are. Helio, what's his name? But it just awesome pictures. And he also posed with Aaron Rodgers' girlfriend.
Nice.
I know. And that's what I said as I was going to post on Facebook a comment, and I opted not to. But,
yeah, probably smart.
It probably was a smart thing to do. But anyway, it was pretty cool. It was fun to see. Mario Andretti still looks great. He's got to be 80 years old or something like that.
Well, when you've got that much fame and that much money, have you noticed famous people with a lot of money tend to always look young?
No, I've seen some where they're fake. Like some of the plastic surgery stuff.
Okay, well, yeah, wow. But with that exception, if I'm just talking about purely people that they don't even think about plastic surgery.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And I think that's the part that frustrates me most about the plastic surgery when you're rich enough to afford it.
Yeah.
You look at the people that don't do it and how good they actually look, even in their advanced years. But the ones that do the let's save that for another Potty Mouths podcast. Let's talk about plastic surgery and our annoyances with it.
Yeah, because I haven't had it yet. I'm probably, soon, but
I have, but that's a whole other story. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Once again, I'm kidding. I have not had plastic surgery. If I did, I'd probably get hair. Anyway.
Does that count as plastic surgery?
I think it does.
Really?
If you have, because they have the surgery where they remove the follicles from the back of your head and move it to the top of your head, why wouldn't that be considered plastic surgery?
Look,
I'm sure there's
preaching to the choir here, buddy. I don't know.
Right.
My hair has finally come back, kind of. So I'm.
There's more to plastic surgery. You can also, I would almost consider, even though you're not having it done by a doctor, the people that get their eyebrows tattooed. That's some form of augmentation. Let's call it augmentation of the body, because there are some people that go out and get their eyebrows tattooed. So they don't ever have to worry about putting duet.
Have you thought about that?
I have many times, but really? The tattoo would go under all of the burliness that is my set of eyebrows. But I thought about, doing it in the middle. So I had a permanent unibrow, but I did think better of that.
That would be hot.
Wouldn't it?
We could probably do a GoFundMe account for that. I would pitch it.
Yeah. Well, if I went into a tattoo artist and said, I want a unibrow, they'd probably do it for free just so they could laugh at me.
Can I go with you? I'll video it.
What's that famous artist that had the unibrow?
What?
What's the famous artist that had the unibrow?
Salvador Dali?
No, it's a female.
Oh. Susie Dali?
I can't remember.
I don't know.
You just like the Dallis.
I do like the Dallis.
Is the next one the Dalai Lama? Is that Salvador Dali's son?
I don't know.
I think it's spelled differently
in there.
A lot of llamas. They spit. Anywho.
Stand back.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll talk.
So we've got topics for years that we're talking about. Say that again.
We'll do the plastic surgery episode next time.
We'll do the plastic surgery. I was going to say we have episodes to cover us for months now.
We do.
So
we do.
And on that note, John, let's talk about Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and maybe eventually YouTube. I am going to look at. I think that's a great idea. I have a feeling because I know books are published on YouTube for the YouTube radio. I think I can start publishing on YouTube and start putting some of our episodes up there. So I might start doing that as well.
That'd be cool.
We don't have an account yet, but we will. And we'll let you know in the next couple of episodes what that is. John, I do have one disappointing thing to add. Though you can still go to our temporary website, I didn't get a chance on vacation to finish the website.
But that's okay because our podcasts are still there.
They're still there. You can still go up to our website and contact us and see and get to our social media networks. Yep. So, please visit our website, listen to some of our episodes, visit us on Facebook at PODDIMOUTHS, go to Instagram at PODDIMOUTHS. You can also visit our Eat, Drink, Road Instagram account, which I haven't posted anything to, but I'm getting all of that in order, and I'm going to start posting regularly to that. Too. I think we have a few people that are interested in helping us out. I've had a few reach out to us and say, I've got some stuff to send you. So I'm excited about that as well. We also have Twitter, which is Mouths Potty, or at Mouths Potty.
Which makes me laugh. Potty Mouths Potty.
Mouths Potty, which I want to get people to start actually having conversations on there. I'm looking forward to the day we actually get people to engage in our Twitter, but I guess we don't have anyone in that particular demographic.
But we're ready for you.
I'm holding out hope.
We're ready for you when you are.
We're ready for you. You can also, if you want to hear more Potty Mouths content, or you want us to start utilizing some of these other ideas that John and I have discussed behind the scenes that some of you know about, but most of you don't. You like that little tagline that's leading up to it. Really get them interested. Oh, what are they talking about?
Be a Potty Mouth Insider.
Visit Patreon.
Find out what Nick's talking about.
Be a Potty Mouth Insider. Yeah. but head up to Patreon and become a supporter of our wonderful venture, so we can produce some more content and get our t-shirts made. Because I think, John, didn't you have one of the levels up there receiving a t-shirt or something like that?
Yes. I think we need.
I think you did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
that's what we were just
we'll
looking for.
We'll have the t-shirts made because we have a logo that we've chosen a logo, so we've got that.
Yep.
And then, some of the other stuff.
We didn't choose the logo.
Goes along with that.
Our listeners
chose. That's right.
Chose the logo. That's awesome.
You are fantastic, wonderful, lovely, beautiful, handsome, intelligent, much more intelligent than us.
Way.
Listeners. Way more intelligent. But can you really think that they're that much smarter, John, if they are actually listening to our podcast? I
think it's an addiction.
It's kind of a catch-22.
I think it's kind of an addiction.
It is an addiction.
We put the dick in addiction.
That's right. That is right. Speaking of last thought of the day, George Clooney is the producer on a program that just launched on Hulu on the 17th of this month of May called Catch 22. And I still don't know what I think about it. I've watched the first 2 episodes. The trailer, I'll be honest, the trailer was a little misleading. I thought it would be funnier than it is. It's been a little bit more serious, but it's still very, very good. And George Clooney is phenomenal in it. And it also has a couple of other big stars. The gentleman who played, he's a Monty Python actor who played House. What's his name?
Oh, yeah. I know.
Yeah, and I think everyone else knows too, and they're probably shouting at their radio right now.
But I'll leave it at that because they're smarter than we are.
They are smarter than we are, but there are a few other actors in there that are very, very good. So I would highly recommend it. And it is not a sponsor of our show in any way, shape, or form. But you know how much I love my media, so just another suggestion to go out and catch 22 on Hulu.
Yeah.
John?
Hugh Laurie.
Hugh Laurie.
Gosh.
Thank you. That's it. Yeah. Why did you? I'm going to cut that out because I still want the listeners to be yelling at their radio or at their smart device.
Going to say, of course it's Hugh Laurie. You
Damn it, Nick! It's Hugh Laurie. Damn it, Nick! It's Hugh Laurie because we can actually hear them, right? It's not like we pre-record this or anything.
This is all live.
It's all live, people.
Nick.
All right, John. You, my friend. As always, it has been a pleasure. I want you to have a fantastic weekend because it is the weekend for us. We're pre-recording for Tuesday. It is the
weekend, and we are not on vacation. Let's just make that clear.
Not on vacation. Not yet, anyway.
Thanks, pal. See ya.
Bye.